Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers, and welcome back to your usual cricket show, Cricket Happenings, this on 18th of February on a Saturday. Uh, as far as today's cricket show goes, first I'm going to look at India versus Australia, the second test match where the Aussies have done much better than in the first test after losing the first test in a very humiliating manner. Here they are hitting back at the Indians with their own brand of spinners, and they are definitely it's game on coming into the third day today, where the Aussies will be playing against India at the Firozshah Kotla at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi. And the next one, the other side in New Zealand, New Zealand, England, in fact, today could be the day where there could be a conclusion to this particular test match because New Zealand yesterday with a deadly spell from Stuart Broad with a really pink hot kookaburra ball totally tore into the New Zealand batting lineup, and he went on to rattle the timber of all the four batsmen. He got wickets 4 for 21, and he rattled the timber of all the New Zealand batsmen, and that is something which has never happened. It has only happened way back in the year probably when Fred Truman, the fastest English fast bowler, was bowling. That was the time when Fred Truman actually went on to hit the stumps of three batsmen. But what Stuart Broad yesterday did was something which was an extraordinary feat. We know Stuart Broad is very capable, but yesterday he absolutely came into his own. To even Kane Williamson was clean bowled by Stuart Broad. So Stuart Broad was, as I said, he was deadly yesterday, and with the under the lights, the pink ball, and with a new pinkish ball, he went on to really hit the stumps of all the New Zealand batsmen, and the New Zealand innings lay in absolute tatters going into the end of the third day when the score for New Zealand read 63 for 5. They are definitely staring down the barrel as far as this first test match is concerned. And as I said, 331 runs still to get with only 5 wickets to go. Definitely, I think England are definitely there to go and win this particular match. Now, the other thing that happened today, Martin Guptill in the Pakistan Super League has smashed a century of just 67 deliveries. And it was he went on to assault the Aussie bowler Andy Ty by taking 30 runs of the over, and that is something. And Temba Bavuma has replaced Dean Elgar as the captain of South Africa for the Test series that South Africa will be playing against West Indies, or West Indies will be coming to South Africa. So we will get back to that. So basically, the main focus on this would be an analysis of the India versus Australia test match, and also New Zealand versus England, the first test match. So first we head towards Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi, where I'm going to talk about the Australia versus India test as to what really has transpired. A lot of speculation was going on how the pitch is going to play at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi, and definitely one expected that, and that happened. And Australia decided to. First and foremost, they had the initiative. They took the initiative of batting first, and any team would have done that. So that was the first victory for them. That they won the toss and decided to bat first on this particular pitch, which is a real turner according to me. And what Australians did is they brought back Travis Head in place of Renshaw, and that proved to be a good one, as I would be talking about. And besides that, they also decided to reinforce, and they went with a plan where one feels sorry for Australia because they are definitely not playing at full strength. So that is not an excuse, but again, one has to see, one has to really take into factor that Josh Hazelwood and Mitchell Stark were the very good bowlers, quality bowlers, are not actually playing, and Cummins had to take the punt on going with only himself as the quickie in the whole pack, and he decided to reinforce the team with spinners. With Todd Murphy, who had a good game, retaining his place as one would have expected. And then Matthew Cunman, the left-arm spinner, did well against Sri Lanka, being called in, and also Nathan Lyon, the off spinner, did a wonderful job yesterday when he picked up a fifer against India. So that is something that the Aussies did. So the Aussies batted first, and they definitely again, David Warner was really given a real working I mean, there was, David Warner has been struggling. We know in the first test he struggled, and there has been a big question mark on him. And David Warner, once again, it was a big struggle for him right from the time he actually went on to bat there with Mohammad Shami and Mohammad Siraj absolutely troubling, and Mohammad Siraj going on to actually hit him on his elbow, then went on to hit him on the grill of his helmet, and finally David Warner was absolutely shaken by that, and then he was a goner, caught by Shikhar Bharat behind the wickets of the bowling Mohammad Shami of 15 with 3 boundaries. So David Warner, just have to say, very feel sorry for David Warner that I'm told that he won't be taking any further part in the game, which is unfortunate. And there is a concussion substitute who has come in place. And the man who has come for David Warner, I'm just trying to check who it is. I have a feeling it's going to be Matt Renshaw, who probably would be replacing David Warner. So it's very sad, but David Warner really shaken. He has been taken for X-rays, and it's not a good sight. But David Warner was really, really struggling in India. Usman Khwaja, he was the only man who, not the only man, he and Hanscom were the ones who really prospered against India. Usman Khwaja decided to use his feet well against the spinners, which was a good thing. Use the sweeps, use the reverse sweeps against the Indian spinners, which is again another mighty part of it. And he did a good job. He in fact, he compiled 81 with 12 fours and 1 6. So that was a good thing. And the other one who actually really did a very good job was Peter Hanscom, who was specifically selected by Australia to come to India for the reason that he is a good player of spin as well, and he really showed us why with his quality of batting, where he also held the innings together as well. As when the Aussies were bowled out for 263, Peter Hanscom was not out on 72 with 9 boundaries to his credit. Labuschagne was out for 18. Again, it was Ravichandran Ashwin getting his wicket. Stephen Smith was out for a blob. Travis Head didn't do much. He was gone for 12 with 1 4 and 1 6 with some bouts of aggression there. Alex Carey was out for naught. Cummins did a good job. He combined with Peter Hanscom very well to contribute 33, 3 fours and 2 sixes. Murphy, not Nathan Law, 10, and Kunman. And 263, the damage was basically done by if you look at it, it was Mohammad Shami with some very good bowling figures. He bowled superbly. He cleaned up the tail. He went, he hit at the top by taking David Warner's wicket and also took Travis Head's wicket. But finally, he cleaned up the tail by hitting the timber. 14.4 overs, 4 minutes, 60 runs and 4 wickets for Mohammad Shami. Siraj was wicketless, 10 overs, 2 minutes, none for 30. Ashwin was amongst the wickets. He bowled as he is expected to. 21 overs, 4 minutes, 57 runs and 3 wickets. Jadeja supported him well with 368, and Akshar Patel was wicketless for 34. Now, India, in reply to this total of Australia of 263, one would have expected India to probably go and make a big score and probably put the pressure on them as they did in the first test match. But it was not to be. As I said, it was the Aussie spinners who totally ruled the roost, especially Nathan Lyon bowling a very good line and really making the batsmen work for the runs and also getting the wickets. And he picked up a five for 29 overs, 5 minutes, 67 runs and 5 wickets for Nathan Lyon. Murphy finished with 2 for 53. Matthew Cunman was also impressive and he made his presence felt. 2 for 72, 1 for 41 for Pat Cummins. And if you look at the Indian card, it was not, I mean, if you look at it, 32 coming from Rohit Sharma, who was clean bowled by Nathan Lyon. Rahul made only 17, it was LBW. Pujara, there was a lot of, a lot of attention on Cheteshwar Pujara, who was playing his 100th test match. And one thought probably this was the match, but what a shame that he was out for a duck in his 100th test match. Virat Kohli was trying to hold the innings together, making 44 with 4 boundaries, but he was probably dismissed under controversial circumstances. The reason being that Matthew Kunman would have been delighted when the DRS came and the verdict came as he was out, because I think the umpire was not getting conclusive evidence, and that's the precise reason Virat Kohli was not given the benefit of doubt, and Matthew Kunman took the wicket of Virat Kohli. LBW ball Kunman, 44, 4 boundaries. Shreyas Iyer, who came into the team at the expense of Surya Kumar Yadav, was left out. Shreyas Iyer could contribute just 4 runs. Normally, he's a very good player of spin, and it was a real surprise for me when Shreyas Iyer was, it was very, very surprising that Shreyas Iyer it was a full-blooded flick, but Handsome clung on to it. Jadeja was out for 26, Shrikar Bharat for 6. Akshar Patel. Now, Akshar Patel was the one who really surprised everybody. Yes, he did well in the first test match, no doubt, but it was very, very good to see the way Akshar Patel played. I mean, his strokes, it was not only about his stroke making, he also had watertight defense. He was solidly defending the spinners, and it was good to see that Akshar Patel is really turning out to be one very good all-rounder for India for the future. 74, and it was only due to this partnership between Ravichandran and Ashwin. 139 for 7, and Aussies might have felt that they were absolutely in to take the lead in this particular match. But well done, Ravichandran Ashwin. Always, he comes at the right moment, and that's what he precisely did. Ashwin combined into a good partnership. It was a very, very nice partnership, because it yielded 104 runs, and that was the precise reason India finished at 262, taking just 1 run lead. But well, if not for this partnership between Akshar Patel, who made 74 with 9 fours and 3 sixes, and Ravichandran Ashwin giving him good support with 37 of 5 boundaries, it would have never happened. And Shami 2 and Siraj 1 were the other victims. 262 all out India. And as I said, it was a 1 run lead, a slender, very, very, just a slimy 1 run lead conceded to India. And as I said, Australia will be very happy with this effort. But they would have probably liked to, bundle out India before 200 runs, because that partnership would have really frustrated them. But full marks to Akshar Patel for playing a wonderful knock, and good support provided by the experienced Ashwin. Australia, in their second dig, were 61 for 1 at close, as I said. But it was, David Warner was not playing, and Travis Head was told to open the innings. And Travis Head had come with a real sort of a positive and an aggressive mindset, and he came there and he started, hitting the bowlers everywhere. He was not, started coming down the wicket, a shimmy down the track to the spinners as well. And that was the one. He was the one who garnered the lion's share there of the 61, as he remained not out on 39, 5 fours and 1 6. Jadeja getting the wicket of Usman Khwaja very early for just 6 runs. And this one, in the previous ball, Usman Khwaja had swept Jadeja for a 4, and this time there was a leg slip in position, and Shreyas Iyer made no mistake, as one too many, as we call it in cricket. Usman Khwaja went on to go for another sweep shot, and that is the end of Usman Khwaja. Manus Labuschagne was not out 16 with 3 boundaries, and at the close, Australians 61 for 1, 62 ahead. Bowling just 1 for 23 for Jadeja. Other than that, the bowlers definitely today's day's play, which is the third day's play, which is going to be very interesting and very crucial to this particular test match, because the Aussies have to really put up a good show, probably put in excess of 300 runs. And I think this track, India are the ones at a gross disadvantage, because Indians are going to bat last on this pitch, and with the spinners already showing their mettle in the first innings, and I wouldn't be surprised if they really, or probably it will come down to India's batting skills against the spinners, which they are good at. But probably this will be the time to show the batting skills against this very good Aussie spinners. Well, that being said, we head off to Mount Managuini in the first Test match between England and New Zealand, where it's as exciting as it can get. If you look at it, this particular game, England batting first made 325 as usual. It was baseball cricket all the way, as one calls it. And there was absolutely no let up. Runs were just cascading from the blades of the England batsman. Ben Duckett played a wonderful innings at the top, 84. A nice pitch, nothing much to really talk about. Yes, Tim Southee definitely got some good movement early on in the morning. Ben Duckett making 84 with 14 boundaries, looked very impressive with his stroke making. Ollie Pope contributing 42, but Harry Brook, the young bloke from England, who is going to be the real future player for England, no doubt about it. Once again, amassing, adding to his tally of runs that he made against Pakistan, and all eyes were on him. Probably Harry Brook would have gone on to make his fourth century, but unfortunately it was not to be. He was gone for 89, but what a knock that was. 89, absolutely played in one-day fashion, and that's how he plays basically. 15 fours and 1 6 in that very, very sort of a merciless knock from Harry Brook. And other than that, folks made 38. I'm not going to go much into it. So 325 for 9 declared. It was once again baseball cricket all the way. And at the bowling, Neil Wagner was the best bowler on show in the first innings, 4 for 82 for him. 2 wickets piece to Southee and Scott Coughlan, who actually made his debut. I think there were two debutants for New Zealand. The debutants being Scott Coughlan and also Blair Tickner, both making their debut. And as I always say, the New Zealand pace resources, according to me, are looking much weaker compared to England. And on that token, I think that is something which is definitely going England's way here. Now look at England on this in New Zealand in their first innings. They responded by making. Now this was a Tom Blundell innings. Let's talk about Devon Conway, who played some wonderful strokes. We know what a talent he is, and Devon Conway contributed a neat 77 with 7 fours and 1 6 at the top. But other than that, it was the batting of Tom Blundell. Tom Blundell already has a good track record against England. As you know, in the last series when New Zealand went to England, Tom Blundell contributed in a big manner. And here he comes once again. It was absolutely no surprise. But at the time when Tom Blundell entered the scene, they were really, really absolutely down in the dumps, one could call, because they were 83 for 5 when he joined Conway. And after that, Tom Blundell took over. And what a knock he played. He brought New Zealand pretty close to England, with New Zealand conceding just a 19-run lead to England as they were bowled out for 306. Tom Blundell's contribution being 138, which included 19 fours and 1 6. And I think Tom Blundell is here to stay after BJ Watling, the one who was the previous wicket-keeper batsman. Now I think New Zealand have a real handy batsman keeper in Tom Blundell here. Bracewell 720 to Coughlan, and as far as the bowling was concerned, it was 4 for 54 from Ollie Robinson, who bowled magnificently. 3 wickets to Anderson, 1 to Broad, and 1 to Ben Stokes. Now England were faced with England were faced with a 19 runs lead, but again, as I said, England, they've really brought a brand of cricket, a brand of aggressive cricket, is the baseball cricket as we call it in cricketing terms nowadays, because it was coined in. It was something which was coined after England started this. They have really made Test matches very exciting. And what it does is that with this aggressive approach, they are also bringing the crowds in, and you're adding more and more excitement to the game. And here comes England in their second leg. They were bowled out for 374, but again, it was again aggressive cricket all the way. If you look at the card there, Pope made a very attractive 49, 5 fours, 3 sixes. And look at if you look at that mindset there, look at Joe Root. Joe Root is normally a very, I mean, he has changed his game. He was out for a reverse sweep just before tea time yesterday when he was caught by Mitchell. He made 57. Harry Brook once again getting his second 50. And Harry Brook for me at this moment, I think in his career, I mean, probably is in his eighth or ninth innings of his test, he can do no wrong. Every time he goes out to bat, there are runs coming from his bat. What a player he has been. England have been blessed with 54. 7 fours and 2 sixes. Ben Foakes had a 50 to his credit, 51 with 5 boundaries. I mean, look at the contribution. Stokes 31 was expected. Ollie Robinson making 39, 6 boundaries included, 374. And Neil Wagner, went on to have the not the distinction, I think, sort of a ignominy of being having the second most costliest figures in Test cricket, with ending up with figures of 2 for 110 with no maidens and 13 overs bowled by him. Tickner 3 probably used a lot of short stuff where England really went after him. Blair Tickner 3, 3 to Michael Bracewell and Scott Coughlan on his debut, 2 for 81. Blair Tickner got 3 wickets. Now, New Zealand. Now, this is what I would like to talk about. Now, this was the time when the target was set, 394 runs. We were coming into the night time there in New Zealand. Probably only 20 or 23 overs were left. And look at what damage Stuart Broad created. He absolutely knifed through the New Zealand's batting order, and the New Zealand's were reduced to 63 for 5, chasing 394 runs to win. And they still need 331 runs today to go and win the match. And as I said, absolutely the dice is loaded in favor of England, unless even Tom Blundell is gone. So there's only Michael Bracewell, who one can rely on because he's a good player, a quality player, and they have Daryl Mitchell. So this is the pair which has to do the trick if at all New Zealand needs. I think it's a miracle that is going to happen if New Zealand are going to come out of this. But look at that. Let's talk about the wickets that Stuart Broad took. Stuart Broad was absolutely on fire. He was red hot. It was a pink ball under lights. He was literally making the New Zealand batsman dance to his tune. Let's have the look at the wickets here. The wickets, the first one to go was Davon Conway, who was clean bowled. He was absolutely bowled through the gate. He speared the ball in, and that was the end of Davon Conway, and it was gone. It hit the stumps. Conway gone for 2, and New Zealand were 14 for 1. The second wicket to go, the Kane Williamson, the former captain, again one more delivery from Stuart Broad, once again angling into the right hander. Kane Williamson's stumps were gone, so that was the second wicket gone. Kane Williamson bowled Broad for naught, and now we are coming into the third wicket from Stuart Broad, and that was the opener Tom Latham. Tom Latham was also gone. Now this was Broad actually for a change. The other 2 deliveries were actually angling into the batsman, but here this was once again another relentless angling into the batsman with the pink ball. It zipped through. Tom Latham's stumps were disturbed. He was gone for 15 with 1 boundary. And the final wicket that Stuart Broad took was Tom Blundell, the centurion in the first innings. And this was another thing that he went through the Blundell's defense. He burst through the gap. So this was some real serious bowling from this experienced bloke, Stuart Broad. What a spell from him. If you look at his bowling figures, 10 overs, 5 innings, 21 runs and 4 wickets. He totally, I think he actually hit them so hard. And finally, 1 wicket for Robinson of Henry Nichols, as the New Zealanders were the New Zealand innings was in absolute tatters at 63 for 5. Daniel Mitchell not out 13. Bracewell was not out 25. Saw of the day. And now, as I said, with 331 runs to get and 5 wickets for England to get, England are definitely looking absolute favourites to go and win this test match today itself. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I don't have much time to talk. It's almost 25 minutes of talking here. So let me talk about the PSL. Just wanting to leave you out with this Martin Guptill, who slammed a century. Let's have a look at what he did. Basically, Martin Guptill for Quetta Gladiators, who won the match against the Karachi Kings by 6 runs. He slammed 117 of 67 deliveries, which included 12 fours and 5 sixes. So just wanting to give a cricket update here. And thanks for your company as always. And thanks for your absolute support. And once again, I would like to tell all my viewers and all my friends and subscribers that I do have a presence on Facebook, Cricket Facebook as well. So you can even go and hook on to me over there. And that being said, it's about time for me to pull the curtain down on this cricket show, Cricket Happenings for today. But again, tomorrow I'll be there to once again bring you the excitement in this New Zealand versus England, where I'm thinking that England is going to win this first Test match hands down. And then I will also talk about another exciting day's play coming, which would really this third day's play will really determine the fortune of this particular Test match, the second Test match, whether India wins it or Australia wins it. And that is also something that I'll be talking to you tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye from here. Thank you.